Madam's outing today was special. She had promised to return with a new playmate. I was bustling with excitement at the news. Finally, I would have a partner in play. But when Madam arrived, my enthusiasm quickly turned to dismay as I eagerly approached the surprise friend. My heart sank. The so-called friend was none other than my enemy, aka Ogbonge Witch, the one creature I had clashed with before. As soon as Katy set her piercing gaze on me, she began to tremble uncontrollably. She knew she was in trouble. Madam watched us intently, then turned to me and said, "This is your new friend, Biggie. Never fight with Katy. Nothing must happen to Katy, or you'll be in trouble." Time passed, and Biggie was left wondering how Madam could bring this witch to the house as a friend. Biggie determined to deal with Katy in a dangerous manner. Katy would wag her tail at Biggie from the window, teasing him. Biggie, feeling provoked, would storm into the house, trying to chase Katy away. He would want to bite and chase her around the house. Fortunately for Biggie, his aggressive behavior was misinterpreted as playfulness. As Biggie chased Katy, it seemed like they were just playing together, but in reality, Biggie was trying to harm Katy. Madam, however, thought they were just friends playing and would let them go outside together, unaware of Biggie's true intentions. Katy was worried at this new cunning movement of Biggie against her. "I know I'm in a serious trouble," said Katy. When Madam instructed the house help to carry both of us outside, saying, "Let them play together," I knew I was in trouble. As soon as I heard her words, I began to cry out in distress. "No, Madam, he wants to hurt me. We are not playing." But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Madam couldn't understand me, and the house help scooped us up, taking me outside to face Biggie's wrath. Fortunately, the house girl placed us in separate cages, saving me from Biggie's clutches. Her food was served in plates outside our cages, but Biggie's menacing gaze made my blood run cold. "If them burn you well, come out and I'll devour you alive," Biggie sneered. I was paralyzed with fear, terrified of losing my life. For a week, I cowered indoors, too afraid to venture out. As the days passed, I grew weak and slim. My once luxurious form, now dull and lackluster, my beautiful body, once full of life, had withered away. As I withered away, Madam's affection for me began to wane. My once beautiful appearance now failed to please her, and she grew distant. Instead of taking me on her usual walks, she began to favor Biggie, escorting him on long strolls while I remained confined to my cage. The attention I once enjoyed was now lavished upon Biggie, further fueling my despair. When I couldn't bear it anymore, I summoned the courage to confront Biggie. I emerged from my cage, determined to claim my food. "Leave my food alone!" I shouted. Standing my ground, Biggie sneered, his wicked laughter sending shivers down my spine. "You don't want to lose your life, do you? Run back to your cage." But I stood firm, refusing to back down. That's when Biggie transformed into a furious lion, his eyes blazing with anger. I tried to hold my ground, but fear took over as he knocked my head with a vicious swipe. I screamed, pleading with him to leave me alone. The pain was excruciating and I was paralyzed with fear. I scrambled up the cage with Biggie hot on my heels. It just snapped mere inches from my head and I sprinted as fast as my legs could carry me. Just when all hope seemed lost, the house help intervened, scooping me up in her gentle arms. I panted heavily, trembling with fear, before she finally placed me safely back in my cage. Biggie thought he'd won again, devouring my food with glee. But I refused to give up. The next day, an even more delectable meal was prepared just for me. Biggie finished his own food quickly, eyeing mine with greed. As he approached, I stood my ground, unwavering. "You are not having it today," I declared. My claws dug firmly into the ground, my eyes fixed intently on the attacker. Biggie's face twisted in a mix of fear and rage, but I held my stance. He sneered, "No one will save you today." But I was beyond reason. My eyes blazed red with fury, my mouth open wide, ready to strike. My claws crashed the ground, poised to slash at Biggie's eyes. I was ready to fight for my food, for my dignity, and for my life. As our eyes met, I unleashed a blood-curdling scream, pouring all my fear, anger, and defiance into it. "Get away from me, you Biggie!" I shrieked. The sound of my voice seemed to shatter Biggie's confidence. His aggressive demeanor crumbled, replaced by a fearful expression. Another piercing stare from me sent him fleeing in terror, his paws barely touching the ground as he sprinted away in a frantic bid for escape. I savored my delicious food in peace, feeling triumphant and relieved. The drama had finally subsided, and I could enjoy my meal without Biggie's intimidation. Unbeknownst to me, Madam and the house help had been watching the spectacle unfold, observing from a distance to see who would emerge victorious. And, as I later found out, Madam had been recording the whole ordeal to post on her social media. I had unwittingly become an internet sensation, a small but fierce catty who stood up to a menacing Biggie. My bravery earned me celebrity status, and I lapped up the attention with gusto. From that day onward, I became a cherished indoor companion to Madam and the kind house help. As I went about my daily routine, I couldn't resist teasing Biggie from the safety of the window. I would wag my tail and make playful gestures, taunting him with my newfound confidence. Biggie, still wary of my fearful attitude, would watch me from a distance, a mixture of frustration and admiration in his eyes. I had become the undisputed queen of the house, and I reveled in my victory.